then you give me a minute so I can also check other places. So we're live now. We're live. Just give me a minute so I can actually check that we're live. And if you don't mind, I can actually send you the link so you can just put on your status and just say we're live so people can join.
Yes, please do that.
Okay. So I'm actually on my YouTube now. Yeah, I can see us live. Yeah, I can see us live. Okay. It's like we're hearing ourselves afterwards. So let me share this live video now. Like we're hearing ourselves afterwards.
Can we see the participants, or it's going to be?
So we can't actually, but we can see their comments. So down there you'll be seeing any comments. So
I think to see the comments, one might have to connect to his YouTube, right? Are you muted, Alfreda?
yes, I was muted. So people are connecting. Can you see the comments? Hi guys, welcome. You all are welcome. We are starting in a minute. Okay, so invite your friends and share the link. Tell them that we are live. And if you're going to watch this replay, please also share when you're watching it. But if you're live now, please, we're starting. Someone is saying, when will this session commence? We are starting. We're starting right now. So let us know where you're connecting from. Okay. Just let us know. We can see your name, so you can just tell us where you're connecting from, which state, or if you're outside Nigeria, which country. Okay. So we are starting right now, you guys. Just invite your friends and let us start. Babe. Okay. Welcome everyone. Some persons are connecting from Port Harcourt, River State, Port Harcourt, Edo, Oshun. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. You're welcome to the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship webinar. And I am so happy to have you guys. This scholarship has been put together by no other person but, when people used to say my humble self, even when they are not humble. So let me say my proud self, even when I'm humble. So you guys are welcome. This scholarship was put together by no other person but myself, Elfrida Ibiyobo, and I happen to run a blog I call SLH with Elfrida. It is School Life Hacks with Elfrida, and I share scholarship tips, school life tips, and all of that. So you're welcome. Thank you for joining. And I have so many beautiful and oh, I have just one beautiful. Okay, one beautiful and two handsome men. Okay, today with me, they are also scholars. They happen to be Commonwealth Shared Scholars in 2021 because we were there in the UK together, or we happen to be there in the UK together, studying for our masters in our different fields. Okay, so I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves so that you can get to know them. Okay, so let's start with you, sir. Sir Dewale, please introduce yourself, and then we'll have Ayola, and then after we'll have Mercy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Frida.
Thank
My
you.
name is Adewale Adeni. I'm a project manager. I had my Commonwealth Shared Scholarship in the year 2021. I studied MS Engineering Management at the University of the West of England, Bristol, and I've been in Nigeria. I've been back. Let me say I'm the only one here on this platform out of the speakers that's back in Nigeria. I'm happy to be here, and I want to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Ayola. I had my master's in climate change science and policy at the University of Bristol, same place as the lady of Frida and Mercy Martins. Um, I'm currently taking my PhD at an undisclosed destination, and I'll be here to offer you my advice on tips to win the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. My name is Mercy Martins, and I am a doctoral student. Unlike Ayola, I'll tell you where I'm doing my PhD. I'm doing my PhD at the University of Bath, where I'm focusing on my work on decolonization. I actually did my master's with all of them at the University of Bristol, where I studied my master's in development and security. And I'm happy to be here to help you all with some tips on the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And welcome. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. We can see your comments. So make sure that you prepare your questions if you have them beforehand, or and listen attentively so you can get questions that can be answered tonight, because I don't believe you want to waste your live stream, um just make sure you avoid distractions, okay, because you may not get this moment, where you get to listen and ask questions. Of course, there'll be a replay on YouTube. You can always go back to the video on YouTube, but you won't have the guests like this answering questions. Okay, so we have different people in different fields. And if I did not also tell you, I was also a Commonwealth Shared Scholar, and I did my master's LLM Law and Globalization in the University of Bristol. Okay. And I know then University of Bristol was was top 10. Okay, top 10 in the UK. I don't know their current position, but I know I can brag, or we can
So
all
top.
brag, apart from the west of England, but we can all brag that University of Bristol was top 10. So imagine studying for free in a top university in the UK. So please pay attention, okay? All right, so we have our slides already, and I will be starting all about the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. Another thing I want you to do for me is please, 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 if you know that you have people that are supposed to be here, please nudge them, send them the link that we are live so that they can join. Okay, share the link to all your friends, in all your platforms. Share it to them so that they can join. Okay, thank you so much. So about the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship overview, what are we going to do today? What is this session all about? We're going to talk about the scholarship, eligibility, the application process, the essay writing, essay tips, and then Q&A sessions, questions that you may have from the webinar or before the webinar. Just bring them on and we would answer your questions, okay? So yeah, so the first thing is the Commonwealth Scholarship or the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship Program is one of the three master's programs offered by the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission. So there are three master scholarship that they offer. So you have the shared, you have the master scholarship, and the master scholarship was on, and it's currently closed. We have the shared, the masters, and then the distance learning master scholarship. So the distance learning is where you get a master's in any course in the UK, but you're doing it from your home country. So it's a distance learning scholarship. You don't need to travel to the UK. So that one is also currently closed. And if you're a family man or family woman and you don't want to relocate, you can still get a scholarship, and do it online. And then you can also find other scholarships and fellowships. There are PhD scholarships, there are fellowships that you can also apply for. So many people feel that it is only the Commonwealth shared scholarship that they offer. I've been trying to, explain the differences about between the Commonwealth Masters and the Commonwealth Shared, and so many persons still ask that question till now. So just know that there are several scholarships and fellowships that they offer. And then what's the purpose of this particular scholarship? That's Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. It is to contribute, so it is to contribute to the development needs of Commonwealth countries. So if you're a Nigerian, Ghanaian, Cameroonian, the different Commonwealth, the list is, long. And if you go to their website, you will see the Commonwealth countries. So these Commonwealth countries, they are looking at developing, contributing to the development of these countries. And that is why they want to provide you as a professional who has graduated with, good skills and good academic background. They are looking to, give you the ability to study in the UK, to equip you. Okay. So who are the intended beneficiaries? I already said that high quality graduates or postgraduate students from least developed and middle income countries, okay, including fragile and conflict affected states who have not studied for a year or more in a high income country before, who would not otherwise afford to study in the UK, and who have the potential to enhance the development of their home countries with the knowledge and leadership they acquire. So this means that if you've studied abroad, you can't get this scholarship, especially if you've studied in a high income country. So maybe you did your BSc in the UK and then came back to Nigeria to do your what do they call it, NYSC. You can't get the scholarship because although you're coming from a Commonwealth country, which is Nigeria, you have already studied in a high income country. Okay, so it means that if you can study in a high income country, it means that you'll be able to afford a master's too in that same high income country. So they only give it to people that have not studied in a high income country before and who also cannot afford a scholarship. So imagine having a father like Otedola, you can't apply for this scholarship because it's obvious that you can, get this scholarship. So there are going to be questions online where they will ask you the income of your parents and all of that, the status. So if you can put wealthy, it means you can't get the scholarship because they're looking for people who are not able to get the scholarship or who are not able to fund themselves alone. Okay. So eligibility, I know you guys would know this, but I'll just go over it quickly because I feel like some persons don't actually know this. So number one, you have to be a citizen or have been granted refugee status in that Commonwealth country. So that is certain. You must be from that Commonwealth country, or you have been granted status. So be permanently resident in an eligible Commonwealth country. So, like I said again, if you're currently in the US, although you're from Nigeria, if you're currently in the US, staying in the US, okay, there's no way you can get the scholarship because you are now resident in the US. You're now resident in um say a high income country. Okay. Another thing is be available to start your studies in the following year, which is 2024. So you must not be you must not still be in school. You must be a graduate, already a graduate, which will lead us to the next criteria, which is you must hold a first class degree or a second class, that's the 2-1, or a second class lower. So it means that a second class lower can have it, but you need to combine it with a relevant postgraduate qualification, which is usually a master's. So if you have a master's already and you have a second class lower, you can still apply for this and just show them that you're able to show them why you are actually applying for a second master's. Okay, I believe we'll talk about that. And if you have any question relating to that, you can ask. I'm just going through this as quick as I can. I've said this already, not have studied in a high income country and be unable to afford to study in the UK without this scholarship. And then you need to note that the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship does not charge for application fee. Okay, so don't be scammed. Don't let anybody scam you or that you have to pay for application. I had to bring this up from their website just to make sure that I felt it was a duty, to make sure that people don't get scammed. Okay. So the next thing is your supporting documents. So you will need proof that you're a citizen, which is usually your valid international passport. Okay, or your national ID card, okay, showing your passport, your date of birth, and country of citizenship, and then your full transcripts, and your degree certificates, and then references. But references are usually gotten after the application. When you're either nominated or reserved, they will send you an email for your references. But it's just good to make sure that you know who your referees are going to be, because you need to impute that in your scholarship essay, okay, while they will be contacted when you get the scholarship. Okay, moving forward, what's the selection process, right? Like, the application will be considered according to the following selection criteria. The first thing is your academic merit. So you have to merit it academically, like I said, first class, second class, or second class lower with a postgraduate degree. And then quality of your research proposal, which has to do with everything about the essays and potential impact on the development of the candidate's home country, which is still relating to the essays, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Okay. So this scholarship are usually offered under the 6 development themes, and your essay will normally fall into 1, 2, or 3 of these development themes, which are science and technology for development, strengthening health systems and capacity, promoting global prosperity, strengthening global peace, security, and governance, strengthening resilience and response to crisis, access, inclusion, and opportunity. So, your course that you studied in your undergrad level would always fall under these. There's a way you will put it. So, science, development, strengthening health, you will see medicine and health related courses, uh, global prosperity, you see entrepreneurship, economics, and other business related courses, and strengthening global peace and security and governance. You will see courses around international security, peace, development, and all of that. And you also see things relating to law and policy under this. So there are a lot of courses that you can put under this. So don't be scared if you don't understand this. You just need to know the course, like check your course and check the elements of your course. You will find what the area that you will fall under. Okay. And then this scholarship also relates to the SDGs, so the Sustainable Development Goals that we are looking forward to achieving by 2030. So you need to make sure that while you're looking at the development themes, you also relate your essays to the SDGs. Okay, and the SDGs, we have up to 17 goals, which if you check your course will fall in that under 2 to 3 of these SDGs. Okay, so now to the essay structure, the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is divided into three broad sections, and that is what we're here to do today. Okay, the development impact essay, we have the objectives during the award, and the personal statement. I think under I think everything will culminate into say 11 to 12 essays per application. Okay, so that is what you this is what your structure is. So under the development impact essays, you have like up to 4 questions. The objective during the course, you have during the award, you have like 2 to 3 questions, and then you have a personal statement. So the personal statement is different from the personal statement you will write when you're applying for admission, because this one is specific to that particular course you're applying for. Okay, so this is it, you guys. Um, I would stop sharing and allow I will stop sharing and allow us to, or I will still continue sharing rather, and I'll just allow our speakers to let us discuss before we come up with the questions. Right now, I can't see the comments, so I'll just go exit full screen because I cannot see if we have comments or anything. Okay, you guys. Okay, I can see we already have questions. Okay, so that's okay. That's okay. We'll get to questions and answers. And I'll be watching the comments. I actually went to full screen because I needed to see my screen. All right. So number one, the first essay you're writing, I will just give it up to, because I want it to be a discussion. I want us to discuss. Um, we have people here that have written these essays, and we came here because we want to get answers to questions on how to answer these questions, how to answer these essay questions. So I would say that we'll start sharing the topics, we'll start sharing the essay topics. So the first one is, oh, sorry. Um, so number one, it says, how will your proposed study, relate to development issues at the global, national, and local level development issues? Local develop what did I write here? Local level, pardon me, local level development issue connects to your chosen CSE theme and the wider sector. Okay, so let's have this discussion now. Sir Adewale, how were you able to attack this question? Like, how are you able to propose your developmental issues, and how did you relate it to the global, national, and local level when you started writing this essay?
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. For Commonwealth Share Scholarship, to answer this question, as an applicant, there are a lot of background information that you need to put to use here. This has to do with your background, what you intend to do, and what developmental initiatives, what developmental initiatives that are coming to your mind. Yes, someone like me, I have my background is in engineering, and I my initially I thought it would be very difficult for me to get a scholarship that could offer me that opportunity to study engineering management. You know, because I thought that it's only people that are into humanities, psychology, or biological sciences that you know, that have this opportunity to get these scholarships. So when I looked at it, I actually selected MSc Engineering Management at the University of the West of England. My own case is different because I've already applied to University of the West of England. I already had my what's it called, my unconditional offer, and I was just waiting for an opportunity to get a scholarship. So fortunately for me, I got this information about the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and I looked at the eligibility, the eligible schools and the eligible courses, and I discovered that both my school and my course were all eligible. So, to answer this question, how your proposed study relate to developmental issues? Yes, I actually discovered that yes, we're in the era of technological development, and with as someone that that has engineering background, it's always there's this belief that engineers are not better managers. You know, we have this, there's this notion, this general notion that engineers don't know how to manage. So, and then looking at most infrastructural projects that we have in Nigeria, we have you can hardly see an engineer leading such projects. So, um, so one of the claims, one of my claims was that yes, we need to develop this capacity. Develop as engineers, we need to develop this capacity in such a way that we have the in-house, we have the local capacity to develop our managerial skills. I noticed this gap, both at local and national level, and even global level, that engineers are not, better managers. And also in this area of technological advancement, we need more engineers to, you know, develop management skills in managing technology and adapting technology to solve sustainable development issues. So I actually cited some national projects that are tending towards failure, that could not meet their objectives. So I got this information from different websites, and I did a kind of background checks on all of them on why those capital projects was how all of those capital projects were not successful. So I put up this claim that and I connected this claim to these observations to the shortage of skills and lack of engineers having insufficient managerial skills to manage these projects. So those were just the way I connected all this together, and I was able to provide the answers to that essay question. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Um, I think we should take this. I think we should take this question. Thank you so much. I don't want us to go round the chain, but I will just throw this question to someone. So maybe from there you can also pick up from where our engineer left off. Um, so this guy, Emmanuel Ojomo, is asking a question about okay, so this is objectives during the award. Sorry, this is like the second stage. Let's take this afterward. Sorry. I actually thought your question was on the problems. Please, I'm so sorry. We will take this on the objectives, please. So, Mercy, let's go to you on that development issue. How were you able to formulate your essay towards getting a problem in your field, and how would you advise people to formulate problems around there?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I think for me, it's all about what theme. I think I took a very practical approach to the developmental impact questions. What theme am I? Is my course aligned to? What FDG goals are common within that team? What is the topic of the course I'm applying for? Once I had this information, what I did, for example, when I was applying to the University of Bristol for development and security, I argued that insecurity causes developmental problems. So what I did was I tried to um, reduce my problem to something more specific that I can quantify. So I looked at the fact that in Nigeria, for example, there are a lot of children that are not going to school as a result of insecurity, displacement, and the list goes on. So what I did was I pulled statistics. So the first thing you have to make sure you try to emulate is use figures that can be verified, like use big bodies like UNESCO, United Nations to talk about a problem that they can also understand. So I pulled out like figures talking about maybe 10.6 million children are out of schools, and how this is also related to insecurity in certain regions, and how for that to happen, there have to be certain things that should be put in place. So I think for me, how I approached it was more based on the topic, the team in general, and how that would relate with my SDG goals. So one thing to always put in mind is that you want all your questions or all your essay response to have like a unified front. You can't say you are going to be focusing on insecurity and children and looking at how to mobilize funds to create a place where they can go to school, or to create an NGO that will enable children go to school. And then in the next essay, you're talking about something entirely different. So you should
Mm,
always try to pull in, for example, I always mention certain NGOs I want to work with. Like, for example, in my essays, I mention education as a vaccine, which is an education oriented NGO. So, but throughout the other part of my essay, I also made reference to that NGO, because I'm not saying that just to prove a point. I intend to work with them. But I think another general notice, I think when you're writing your essays, you're breathing life to your dreams. It's not everything you get to do, but we all have the ability to dream. So if you can dream well, then you're able to construct your essays well. Just think about what you want to do, how you want to achieve it, and then start trying to make the structure align with your themes, with the theme you're like. If your theme is about maybe strengthening global peace and the rest of it, your essay should also have that overarching theme of trying to look for peace, global peace and security and whatnot. I think that's how I looked at the essays, and how I can also partner with like certain organizations to achieve certain SDG goals. That's the way I looked at it, if that answers the question.
okay, okay, thank you. So I feel like you just hit something that also our engineer talked about. So he talked about looking for a problem, researching about it, and then you also saying you can, make sure to, dream well in your essays and verify with statistics and fact. Okay. Ayola, so please, how were you able to look your from the you did yours in geography, right?
Yeah,
If
climate
I'm
change
not
science and policy,
climate change.
environmental basically. Yeah.
Yes. So please, were you able to get your problem? I would call it like a problem question. In law, we'll call it a problem question, because this is like a problem question, is a problem. You're looking for how to get that um issue out of it. So but what was your background? If you can just give us a little on your background before you went to climate change, so people will understand and they don't just move into climate change like that.
Okay, yes, a little bit of my background. I had my undergrad in urban and regional planning. And well, when you compare urban and regional planning to climate change, I mean, there are
Mm,
similarities, but there is still a stark difference between these two courses. However, my ability to show the similarities and argue
mm,
that these similarities are quite important for the environment and for the whole well-being of humans was my strong point.
mm,
So urban and regional planning basically is I'll call it the science of planning the environment.
Yeah.
And climate change basically is a science. So I had to find the connecting dots amongst them. So in
Wow.
order for me to approach this particular essay, I found a problem. And the problem, which we all see as the 21st century problem, is climate change.
Mm.
But this is the catch. The essay says global, local, or national. And I realized that what people do is to think that if the problem is not global, then the problem is not worth it. That's not true.
Yeah.
You
True.
could either focus on a global, a national, or a local problem. But your
Mm.
ability to quantify the problem, to give it life, is what makes it strong. So for me, the first thing I did was to identify a problem, which is climate change. Now, climate change is a global problem. If I had left it at climate change, it would have been a wild goose chase. So what I did was to say, oh, climate change is a global problem. But for Nigeria, the impact of climate change will be extreme rainfall and sea level rise and will lead to more flooding. That is the peculiarity of the Nigerian situation for climate change.
Mm.
For places like North America, it's going to be wildfires. So when you are stating a problem, if
Yeah.
it's a global problem, find a peculiarity for the location that you intend to look at.
Mm.
Then the second thing I did after that was, so I followed a structure for my essays. And as Messi has rightly said, all all the answers that you put for every question is like a foundation. You should build upon all of these stories to the final point, because one of the things you try to find in your story is coherence. That is why
Yeah.
you have so many long essays. It is coherence.
Mm.
Is your story coherent? Are you able to build upon the things that you've written? So after I identified my problem, I quantified the problem. I started to give figures. I gave figures from the Red Cross on disaster management. I gave figures from the United Nations for flooding. I gave scientific figures, and I also gave figures from the newspaper that stated how much we've lost to flooding from previous times. So whatever medium you can find to give figures that are verifiable, you should do that. It is quite important. That gives your reader an understanding that you understand the problem, and you also know the severity of the problem. Then the next thing I did for my problem was to give a projection. I mean, climate change basically, it is projected that it is going to be more intense in the future. So what I did was I identified the problem. I also stated by using numbers to quantify the severity of the problem in the current state. Then I projected what that problem could be in the future. Then I gave a concluding remark and said that if this is allowed to go this way and we do not have an understanding of what the climate is changing to, there will be more disasters. Remember that when you fill your essays, there are places where you choose your Commonwealth theme, and you also choose your sustainable development goals. So in my concluding remark, I attached my motivation for that problem by connecting it to an SDG. So I concluded by saying, well, this becomes a problem if you do not understand this, and understanding this would ensure that you're able to contribute to this and this SDG. So that's how I was able to answer that question.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So from what we got, I think people should be able to um use where they are. Don't just feel like if it's not a global problem, it won't be a local problem, or if it's not a local problem, it won't be a global problem. And then most importantly, start from where you are, from your community there. I mean, there are so many climate change problems in Nigeria and in our different localities there. Okay, so that should have answered the first question. Should I give my own? Okay. I think I've said that in one of my videos, but for me, for and to benefit people that would have come here for the law aspect of it, there are so many legal issues. If you're a lawyer, you should not even run out of legal issues. Okay, so what I was able to do, and which is quite similar with everything my co-scholars have said, is I went to the SDG platform, the website, and I checked my SDG goal. So as a lawyer, you should be looking at achieving you should be looking at achieving peace, security, a strong institution. Okay, strong institutions, because there are so many things that fall under law, government, policy changes. And I looked at those issues. I looked at the fact that I looked at the issue of rape. I looked at the issue of violence against women, human rights. Okay, these are legal issues. I looked at those issues and I looked at them and I saw that there are problems there in Nigeria, in down to even our states, our different states. I looked at the fact that even people that are arrested, they are detained and they don't get access to justice on time, delayed justice and all of that. Those were different legal issues that were at play for me. And so in my different essays, I used one or two of those issues, to be able to say, okay, these are the issues I have seen. And if we don't, look at these things will become a very massive problem. People will begin to retaliate, because of the way people don't get quick access to justice. People that are poor don't have the ability to get legal practitioners that will look at their cases. And then when you also have legal aid and all of that, it's not it doesn't work that much in Nigeria. Legal aid and pro bono cases. Even when we talk about pro bono cases, how many lawyers really look into pro bono cases? Or most of them just look into pro bono cases because they want to become SANs. You understand? Because they want to become senior advocates of Nigeria. So those are really issues that you look at when people's rights are being trampled on, and those are human rights. If you look at the foundation of any democracy, it should be human rights. That respect for human rights should be part of it. So those are the kind of issues I looked at. So if you're in the law related area, you may want to look at those issues. I've mentioned so many things that you can look at. So when you look at those things, you look at statistics, you look at police bureau statistics, you look at just search, you will see different statistics of how many women face violence in Nigeria, how many people are detained without access to justice. When you look at those things, you will get enough data to be able to prove that this is an issue, and if you're given the opportunity, you'll be able to solve this issue. So yeah, that is it from the law aspect. So the next essay question is, how do you intend to apply your new skills and qualifications when you return home? So, boss engineer, let's get to you, because you're already a practicing engineer, and so many people don't know that you've been in this for close to, is it 20 to 25 years now? Please, you need to tell us, please. We are too proud of you. So now
Thank
you're
you.
even back home. So how do you can even practically say it, like, how do you intend to apply when you're advising somebody? What would you tell them to include when they are writing this part of the essay?
Okay. Thank you, Efrida. The
Mm,
thing is that the field of engineering management is still evolving. It's
mm,
very rare to have engineers that have both engineering and managerial skills.
mm,
So before I before I applied for my master's, I did a certification in engineering management. So those were the things I actually put
mm.
forward in my application.
Okay.
I already had a certificate in engineering management, and that is I joined an international body, American Society of Engineering for Engineering Management. And
Mm,
I one of the things I said I would do was to get more members to join, and also try to propagate and create that awareness that as engineers we need to develop our management skills, and also present ourselves as leaders to lead projects. Yes, before I embarked on that journey, I belonged to several engineering associations.
mm,
So I actually put them forward as well to introduce engineering management into these associations, to actually create a roadmap, or create a roadmap on how engineers can be trained. And I gave examples on online, both online and physical training outfits where engineers can actually gain some management skills. I also cited some developmental issues like the infrastructure in the area of infrastructural development. Virtually a larger percentage of some national projects are not meeting their objectives at all, and this is because they are mismanaged, or they are misappropriation of fund, or there is a diversion of funds. So those were just the things I just put down, from
Mm.
creating that awareness to um, um, getting engineers trained, and also providing, giving ideas as per how engineers can gain more managerial skills. But however, I actually connected this to some SDG goals, you know, and looking at the SDG goals, if you go to SDG website, you see
Mm.
their performance indicators there.
Yeah.
So if you can dig out one or two performance indicators from that list that are connected to, what you want to do, I think that will make your application, that will make your essay more robust. So those were just the things I did anyways. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Mercy.
Yeah, just to add on to what our engineer said. So for me, since already in the first place, I've already linked out of school children to an avenue for terrorists to get younger people. The solution for me, or the solution my essay was saying that we have to reduce out of school children. So the
Yeah.
next question that the development impacts too is, how do we do that? We do that by partnering with NGOs to create on the ground support. So that is what I want to say. But then I have just like 100 words to say that. So what do
Yeah.
I do? I have to make them understand that there is a reason why I'm applying for this course. So what is this course giving me that will help me? First of all, in terms of social skills, it will help me know how to network, to be able to pull in those NGOs, those partners that I need, which is also in line with SDG Goal 17, which is partnership with other institutions. So how do I need, aside from partnership, what will this course particularly help me do? It will give me the knowledge of how to create projects, small projects that will be aimed at community development that will attract children and reduce like out of school children, which will end up leading to them not being able to, for terrorists not to be able to get them to become terrorists or cause havoc. So I think it's about knowing how many. So I'm going to be very practical. You have 100 words. You know what you want to say, and then you have other essays to hint at what you want to say. So you can't really spend your 100 words talking about how you're going to learn this course. That after learning this course, you're good. You have objective during the award to tell them about it. So I think you should
Yeah.
just pick few things that can help you put into that can help you fence the things you want to do. So for me, I identified the NGOs I wanted to work with. Those NGOs, one of them was EVA, which is going to focus on the education, and then the other NGO was the other body was the African Development Fund, who is going to help us by giving us the funds to front the project. I think that is how you focus on using few words to show them that you're ready for the aftermath of the scholarship.
Okay. Thank you. Hayola.
Yes, I think at this point, I think Messi and I had to use the same, wrote the same essays. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the point of this is, and this is what I will hammer on over and again.
Mm.
Every essay is supposed to be, or every subsequent essay is supposed to be a continuation from the previous one. So, in
Yes.
the
Mm.
first essay, you already identified problems. Now, the problem should be specific to the course of study that you have put in for and the
Mm.
sustainable development goals that you intend to tie it to.
Mm.
After you have identified those two things, the problem, the SDGs, and the projection of what could be in the future, you now begin to think of what skills, what solutions might, might alleviate those problems. So you have 100 words. For me, my course was climate change science and policy. So science and policy. What problems did I identify? Flooding is a problem, and it's from climate change. Climate change is a science. So what I did was, okay, I had 100 words to use. I divided my solutions into 50 words each. So on one part of my solution, I addressed the science of it. And on the other part, I addressed the policy of it. And basically, what I just did was just simple. I said, after my master's, now I didn't say I was going to develop something new. You
Mm.
shouldn't be so ambitious to say you develop something new, because as a
Yeah.
master's student, the
Mm.
true sense of this is you're just gaining new knowledge, yeah, or
Mm-hmm.
advanced knowledge. It's not
Yeah.
still enough to make you develop something new. So that's one mistake people make.
Mm.
I just simply said that I was going to contribute to what has been implemented in the country, which is tied to the sustainable development goal I identified from my previous essay. So I did this for both my science part and my policy part. So in essence, what you used to do in your development impact is build up on the problems that you've identified in the first essay. These are the problems, and these are the possible solutions to the problems, and they are also tied to the sustainable, so the SDG goals that I have identified. Quite simple.
Mm. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I think we've actually talked a lot on that, and it seems that we all took the same approach. So um I'm not surprised that we actually studied the same time. Because we all took the same approach. And like Sir Dewale said, make sure that you include the SDG performance indicators. Very, very important. I think we missed that out, but he was able to, talk about that. I also did that in my essay. So don't in fact, when you're writing your essay, if you're using your laptop, your SDG website should be by the side, the Commonwealth website by the side, and then the school website, the university website by the side. So you have those three websites to play with. And like Ayola said, you're not doing something very big. You're just using your brain to connect what you said in A, to B. So for me, um what I said was to use the legal skills, the analytical skills, reasoning, and all of that to be able to work closely to, especially with the Legal Aid Council in Nigeria, to regularly visit prisons and offer legal services and make sure that I find out why these persons that have been detained are not have not been released, to really get more information about them. So since I know that the cause will increase my legal reasoning, it will also increase my negotiation skills. It will increase my communication skills. I'll be able to communicate with prison wardens and all of that, and different stakeholders, to know what needs to be done with regards to people that have been detained and have not been given the ability to, to plea whether guilty or not. Okay, so basically that is what you want to do there, and you have just 100 words. It's not enough, so you just need to go straight to the point when answering that question. Okay, so let's go to the next question. I hope we're able to exhaust time because it's almost an hour now. So, but God will help us. Let's just move. And the third question is, what do you expect will change in development terms following your studies? So, what do you expect will change the outcomes? So, the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship in this sense is actually, they're actually giving you how to structure that particular essay, because they're telling you, number one, look at the outcomes that you aim to achieve, the time frame for the implementation, and who the beneficiaries with. So see, given these three stages, you should be able to, put your essay together. So sir, what's your take on this essay?
Okay. What I just did here was to connect my answers from number one and number two to to number three. So yes, I actually issues, some national issues.
Okay.
So this number three, what I did was to just look at what I could do to solve those problems. So if you look at the question in number two and number three, they are almost related. Where they say, how
Mm,
do you apply your new skill and qualification when you return home, and what outcomes you aim to achieve? So the thing is, my outcome is just to increase the number of engineers, increase the number of engineering managers who are basically engineers, who have
mm,
engineering background, and also ensure that all the most infrastructural projects, that are going to happen going forward are led by engineers, not some managers, with non-engineering background. So it actually boils down to creating that more awareness. Yes, the field of engineering management is so wide. One might
Mm,
be here, one might be talking about picking up a sustainable development issues, and how you can apply technology and how you can apply engineering to solve such problems. So I mean, I don't want to advise you to follow my own idea. You
mm,
understand? In the process of
yeah.
doing that application, even after submission, some new ideas will start coming to your mind. But
Yeah.
one good thing about this Commonwealth scholarship is that shared scholarship is that you have the opportunity to submit as many times as possible. So during my time, I could remember my first essay was not good. So after submitting, I will go back and reflect on what I've submitted. Definitely I'll see how one thing or the other to change. So I will go back to my application, make some editing, restructure some grammars and things like that, then resubmit. So that was how I did. That was what I did. The outcome was to increase the number of engineering managers with engineering background. Actually said I will increase it by 20%. After implementing all the initiatives I put forward, and also who would the beneficiary be? They are basically engineers as well. So those were just the things I put forward. But like I said, you can think of other ways. One better ways that you can ace this question is to look at a developmental issue that you can solve with engineering.
Mm,
Engineering management is all about managing engineering processes and then managing engineering operations. So
mm.
you can look at a developmental issue that you can solve with engineering, then relate this to the end product of what you want to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Mercy.
Yeah, hello. So I think just to add to what he has said, but just generally giving a tip before I continue, like I said, I think one thing you can consider doing is writing is an essay that touches on all the Commonwealth questions. It doesn't have to be like a very big essay. It can be an essay of 250 to 500 words, and then you
Okay.
pick out part of
Mm,
the essay that actually answers part of the questions, and then you develop on it. What that does is that it gives you a coherent structure from the
mm,
get go. Now, when you
mm.
do that, you realize that repeating certain things is not repetition. It's just showing that you actually want to do this. You're not
Repetition.
lying. So
Yes. Yeah.
it's flowing. So for
That makes a
starters,
whole lot of sense. Yeah.
yes. So for starters, for
Mm,
example, looking at the outcomes, what outcomes? You already written about your impact one and how you want to do it. So how can you use the outcomes? So you have to still draw from where you have
mm,
written before to look at how you want to
mm,
look at the outcomes. For me, I identify two bodies. One is an NGO, one is a body. So I'm saying, okay, the African Development Fund, I'll be partnering with them to focus on rehabilitating public schools in the area. While the EVA, I'll be partnering with them to help the children, give them the necessary things they need to go back to school. So now children will be going back to school. That is the outcome. It's a simple outcome. And
mm-hmm.
then there's going to be like, what's the time frame? It's going to be progressive. When I come in, I'm going to first use the first 6 months soliciting for partnership from these bodies. After getting the
Yeah.
partnership, we'll have a time frame. This time frame will be progressive. Okay, for the first year, we're going to focus on 2 schools and maybe 50 children. And then, but there's always going to be an increment every year. Because you see, unlike other problems, when you're focusing on schools, you have to look at the school calendar. So you have to be also thinking about the fact that you cannot say in every 3 to 6 months there will be increase. How does that make sense logically? Do you understand? And then who are the beneficiaries? Out of school children will be reduced. You will not see children hawking in the street in the scorching sun. So those are like visible things you can look at. You can look at how maybe, for example, in this particular state, let's say in Kaduna State, in this particular local government, there's a public school there, but it's not working because of this. I hope with my partnership with ADF, they can help provide funds to make this particular school. Do you get what I mean? That's how you do it. But at the same time, you are still pulling the same theme, the same actors over and over again to make sense of your general argument. That's how I think you should attack the question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Ayola, do you have anything to add, or
Yeah,
has
just
Messi
just to
said
add
it
this,
all?
Messi and Mr. Diwali
They
said
said it
everything
all.
that I need to say. Yeah, it is still something I'll hammer on. Your essay is a story
Mm,
that you're telling. It must
mm,
connect. And
mm,
in addition to what Messi did, or in addition to what Messi said, what I did was after I identified the problems and I proposed what I could do when I return. That's in the development impacts too. On in the third part, I expatiated on that. I made it more elaborate. And so
mm,
rather than just say I was going to work with this and I was going to work with that,
mm,
I targeted a specific age group. So one thing we found out is that when there's a flood case anywhere in the world, one of the most highest impact happens to the old people. And so from statistics, I found out that in Nigeria, older people listen to radios than any other age group in Nigeria. So I said, okay, fine. Since I wanted to do early warning systems, at least to inform people about a potential flood event, radio and all kinds of social media, including televisions, which older people listen to, would be the main source of the dissemination. That way, I identified the people who are the most vulnerable. I also identified people who would be impacted by what I have proposed. And I also give a figure of the amount of persons who would be, um, um, you know, helped by this. So, for example, in my essay, I wrote, um, I would help to significantly reduce vulnerability and loss of life by about 20% by 2080. That way, I have given a time frame. I have shown that okay, this is target population, and I've also shown the beneficiaries. So it's a story that you are telling, and the story must also have a societal impact at the same time.
okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, because I have law people here, I would still be answering my own part of the question. So, yeah, for me, it's nothing different from what my colleagues have said. So, I mentioned that I would, I reiterated, what I was saying. So, I said violence of rights of, vulnerable youths have been, especially youths, have been high in Nigeria. So we have situations where youths are arrested for different reasons. And remember, my goal in this essay has been on making sure that people that are arrested and detained have what access to justice. And that is what I've been doing from the beginning of this essay. And I'm trying to let them know that this is what I'm concerned about in this essay. So, and then I mentioned that I strongly believe that we can get a strong legal system and justice. And then I mentioned that when I come back within the first 3 months, I would visit the prison, close to me, and I will go there, get information, talk to the prison wardens and heads of prisons and all of that, get a lot of information from them about people that are arrested and people, the ones that have not even gone to court, and the ones that even they are they've not had access to their family members and all of that. And then I will work closely because I can't do it alone. And this is a very important thing about partnership, because the 17th goal of the SDG is partnership. And if you're looking at any problem, you should be able to also use partnership, because you can't do without partnership. Okay, you can't do without partnership. So you should make sure that you're using partnership in every essay that you write, because that problem would need, like Messi mentioned, people that the organization she had mentioned, that's what they call partnership. So I said I would partner with them, and would start implementing, um taking these people to court, and I will also institute a fundamental rights action against the police. Do you get? Because we are talking about people getting access to justice, and then I will ensure that they start um either they take them to court or they release them, okay, especially when they have been arrested for no reasonable cause, so those are kind of things that I would do. And yeah, the beneficiaries obviously will be the people that your beneficiaries are not going to be far from what you're doing. So the beneficiaries obviously will be the same people I am fighting for, the detainees, because my goal is to make sure that those people have access to justice and they don't mix up with convicts, people that are already convicted. And then, most of the people that are arrested are actually people who are not even, they don't even know anything. They're not even criminals. They're just arrested for nothing. And I said I would make sure that those people are released so that they don't mix up with bad people. And then when they're not released into the country, that's how we get, crime rate increases and all of that. So that was what I also did in my essay. Um, let's go to the next. I also mentioned the time frame, yeah, and the outcomes. Okay. The next question, you guys, I believe that we are doing a lot, going through the different questions, different essays, so that you can be able to have a picture of how you want your essays to be. It must not be about what Frida has said, it must not be crime rates. I mentioned rape, I mentioned violence. There are a lot of legal issues you can look at. Okay. So don't just put it because Frida said crime, or because Mercy said education, children. You go and, like our engineer said, there are different ideas that will come up. We're just giving you perspective, okay? So describe the skills that you expect to gain from this scholarship and your career plans once you return home afterwards. So now we are now under the objectives during the award. Okay, describe the skills. Most of these things, like Mercy will say, they are just repetitive. you know you would have to just continue from where you stop. So if I'm not too burdening my guests, and I hope I'm not burdening them too much, but we can take this. Let's see if one or two of you want to answer, that's fine. If we all want to answer, that's still fine. So Sir Adewale, do you want to go, or do you want other people to go? What do you think?
Okay, let me just say one or two things.
Okay,
They say
okay, sir.
describe the skill that you expect to gain from this scholarship and
Mm,
your career plan once you return home. And your
mm.
career plan once you return home.
Yes, sir.
Um, in my own case, I was already in the field of project management. I was already in the field of engineering management. So I said I was just going to the UK to gain that exposure. UK being a
Mm,
developed country, I wanted to know how they are managing their engineering workforce and also how they are, using technology to solve developmental problems, developmental issues. So those were the skills, even the process of, conceptualization to implementation, the whole process. And also, one of the skills I actually wanted to gain was just sorry please, my baby is
I want
sorry.
the generator.
okay, but don't worry, we understand. We understand. Okay.
Sorry,
Mercy.
excuse me for a moment, please. Excuse me for a
Okay, yeah,
moment. I will
that's fine,
join
sir.
in 5 minutes.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's fine. Mercy, can you just pick up from where you stopped, please?
Okay, so about the objectives when I return, my career plan when I return home. I think for me, I divided it into three. So I'm going to be very, because I think when I was coming today, I was like, I want to be very practical with you guys. You see, this whole objective during the award, 5 years after the award, and then long term, is your opportunity to dream. I keep saying it, dream, and then let everything you're writing be in line with what you have said before. So for me, I divided mine into three, which is academic, professional, and personal. So in terms of academic, I was talking about uh, the skills I hope to gain during the award that I will use had to be with how to come with meeting experts in my field that the university will afford me the opportunity to attend conferences, enter like academic debates on the issue, look at seminars, have conversation with like people about the issue, just an ability to learn from different parts. And then in terms of professional, I'm talking about working with NGOs. So one of the plans I stated was I wanted to work with an NGO back in Nigeria. So I wanted to use this opportunity to volunteer with NGOs to see how they're structured, especially NGOs that relate to children or education, something related to my field. So these are the kind of things I wanted to do on a professional level. Then, in terms of a personal level, leadership skills, networking, and trying to grow my social capital. The fact that you did your masters in England under a Commonwealth scholarship doesn't mean you're going to be rich. You will not be rich. You may not be able to, you won't be able to afford to finance most of these things. So the only thing you can do is to grow your social capital, which is harnessing the people you meet. You can meet someone in a conference and have a conversation, and they will be interested in helping you achieve those goals you already labeled that you want to do. So those are the areas I said I was going to focus on in terms of my skills during the award. And then in retrospect, you're also going to help 5 years from now and also help me become the president of Nigeria very soon.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Ayola, do you have anything on this
Yeah,
one?
Mercy has addressed everything.
She has addressed it. Okay, because we're also rushing you guys and we want to take questions, as many as we would. If you have any question relating to that, we would answer, but we want to run through it. So the next one is, and I will also, do I have any other things, do I have anything to say on that one now that you said, Mercy? So let's move. I will answer. I would relate it to the next question. Sorry, you guys. The next question is your career plans in the 5 years following the award. Okay. Long-term career plan. I think I missed a question. There's a question on how your impact will be measured. There's a question on that, and I think we can just answer that one when we're answering the career plan. So what are your career plans in the 5 years following the award, long-term career plans? So Ayola, please, can you just take that one?
So the short-term career plan and the long-term career
Yes,
plans,
please.
right?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay, yes.
please.
I'll quickly touch on how your impact can be measured. I think that's one of like the hardest questions that was asked in that essay. That's like the hardest question, and that's because she really begins to think of how to quantify the efforts that you're not even putting in the first place, or the solutions that you intend to. So what I did was just simple. It's a hack. I went to Google and I said, Google, how do you measure the impact of something? And so Google said, cost implication, time frame of implementation, and socioeconomic impact. No, Google gave me two. Then I added the third one. So I developed on these two things that Google gave me, cost implication. So I thought if I was proposing that I was going to charge for insurance now, flood insurance, which you do not have in Nigeria. If I was going to charge for that, what is the cost implication for that? That costs next to nothing. It's just to find the right person to speak to, and it becomes a policy. So that's one of the ways I talked about quantifying my impact. I also looked at time frame of implementation. How long would it take to implement the solutions I have proposed? I proposed that, we are going to have an early warning system that would monitor sea level rise, which is very doable, and that also monitor rainfall patterns, which is very doable. If you're a meteorologist, you know that is very possible. And so based on these two things, just like the way you find weather information on your phone that Google does, this time it's not going to be by Google, it's going to be on the local scale, which is more credible than what Google does. It is very implementable. So these were the two things these were the two ways I said my impact could be quantified. And so for my short-term plans, it's just basic. 5 years. What do I intend to achieve in 5 years? It wasn't hard. I'd already started a story from the start, and in my development impact 2, I already mentioned that the solutions I propose will be suitable for this agency, and it aligns with this SDG. So since I already identified those solutions, and I said these are the things I would focus on when I return. So for my short-term goal, they were the things I really focused on. The agencies that I already identified from the start that do the things that I would like to do, or do the things that I would like to improve on, were the agencies I focused on as my 5-year plan. So it was basically to contribute to the advancement of what the agency is doing at this time to cover up for what could happen in the future. That's for the short-term career plan. And that and you should also recognize that when you write your short-term career plan, do not leave out your SDGs. These are very, very important. So don't try something abstract that doesn't relate to the SDG that you've identified from the start. For the long-term career goal, I had to give a time frame. So I made my long-term career goal, I spread it over 30 years, and I had a block of 5 years each. So in my 5-year career goal, I already identified that from 2021 to 2026, this is what I will be doing. So based off what I identified there, I used my long-term career goal to dream. So for the next 5 years, I said I was going to give back to institutions, to the universities, basically. So I identified a problem with our institutions. I found out that the course I am even going to study in the UK, we do not have such course in Nigeria. I mean, and to contribute to the overall knowledge and resilience, like I already proposed in my previous essays, I said, oh, I'll partner with Nigerian universities and offer courses as a visiting lecturer to students on this particular course, which is very doable, 5 years. Then for the next 5 years, I said, oh, okay, this time I'll now partner more with the institutions I had already identified that I had worked with the 5 years in my short-term plan. And so this time it's not going to be business as usual. It's going to be developing capacity, technological capacity, for them to also advance in doing this local research. Then, and this is one of the things I also realized when I was doing my study. When I was writing my thesis, I realized that the work I was even doing as my thesis was something that the whole Lagos State Nigeria does not even have. So that also provided a strong case for me. And in one of my essays, I already identified that my thesis basically would focus on this problem. And so I also aligned it to my long-term career plan that, oh, eventually when I've gained so much experience and when I've become a professional and I've attained as many certificates I can, professional certificates I can, I would now give back. Now, this would then be based on the institutions that govern the nation, NEMA, which is for disaster management in Nigeria. And I named a couple of institutions that are based or that are focused on disaster management. I said I was going to give back to them. Then I said, okay, for the last 10 years of my life, I intend to be a policy advocate. And so I basically said, so for the first 20 years that I've identified in this essay, it's basically to understand the science of all the things that I need. So for the last 10 years, I'll now focus on the policy. So I'll take the science into the policy to inform adaptation plans. So yeah, it's just an avenue to dream, like Mercy has said.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to learn from that. I hope we are all learning. I can see that we have lots of questions. We will deal with your questions after. We don't want to stop the flow. We will deal with all your questions. I promise you, we will. We will. So Mercy, yeah. So let's look at the impact measurements, the long and short term goals. Have you talked about that?
I talked about the objective during the award, but Ayola said everything in my heart, and he even said more. I think if there's anything I wanted to add was the fact that in terms of your long-term career plans, you can use the opportunity to dream. You can't be punished for dreaming. Because for me, I know I said I wanted to be the first female president in Nigeria at the end of the day, at the tail end of my career goals. So you can dream. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, the Commonwealth itself, they want people that will be potential leaders. So when you dream, sometimes, as long as you can justify your dream, it is also like an initiative that this person has big plans for their life, and this person may be able to help us, or we can partner with this person in the future. So you can add a little bit of dream. Like me, I'll be your first female president in Dreamland. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add.
Okay. Okay. So can you guys hear me? Can you see me too?
Yes,
Can
we
you
can.
guys hear me? Okay. So yeah, for the measurements for what I said in my essay, assuming we're still using the human rights and people that are detained, I mentioned that the measurement of my impact, or my impact, will be measured on the proportion of persons that will be released, from prison, especially people that were just arrested without reasonable cause, and how that would, drastically reduce. And also, people will begin to have faith in the legal system, in the judiciary, in the justice system in Nigeria, because obviously, when people are arrested without reasonable cause, you know and they are not released, or they don't even have legal practitioners to stand for them, there will be no faith in the legal system. So what I'm trying to do is to make sure that people have faith in the legal system. And then don't get me confused, right? It's not a one day thing. So don't be scared when you're writing to say, ha, this Nigeria, can this thing work? You understand? When I mention things like this, somebody in Nigeria will be like, ha, this Nigerian legal system that cannot work, that is in shambles. People will just be saying different things, but it is your ability to dream and stop thinking of bad things about Nigeria. Think of solutions. Okay, so if you want to write this essay and really be good at it, you have to just block your eyes to the problems. Although you know that there are problems, you are just facing the solutions. Okay, so I added a figure that it will reduce, by this, month. It will reduce. I was just trying to have figures around there, not unreasonable figures, but making sure that they are a bit, at least realistic. Okay, for my career plan, I said that within the 5 year of my return, I would continue working, because the firm I was working with, had a pro bono section. So we're already working on cases, pro bono cases. I had already started working on them before I even started writing the essay. So I was even able to, use that as my advantage. And I said I would, continue doing that, because obviously this work of, crime, getting access to justice and all of that, nobody's going to pay you. So, and then Commonwealth want to see that person that is selfless, someone that is not looking for money, because most of these people that are in prison, they don't have money to even come out in the first place. So if they had money, they would have built themselves. So they are looking for selfless people. So you need to know that when you're writing those kind of essay, you need to be selfless. Even if you want to do some personal things for yourself, show more selflessness. There's a way to achieve that. And then I also said I aim to, work with NGOs, human rights NGOs, that would with people and enlighten them, because I will be skilled in, human rights. The course I was going for was a very broad course, law and globalization. So there are different things I will learn in the end. There are human rights, knowledge of international law and human rights. And I said I was going to train lawyers. I was going to enlighten them to be able to, be able to advocate well for people, because there's a way to go about all these things. It's not just the normal way that they know, because I believe that the course would really teach me, impact me. And coming to the UK, where we have the European Convention on Human Rights, and UK has, ratified this and all of that. And of course, when I'm learning that part, when I'm studying in that particular LLM, I will be able to come in contact with these laws and learn them very well, and be able to bring them back home. So those are the kind of things I mentioned. So I did not forget the fact that I was still relating it to that particular course I was going for. And then yeah, so that was it. And then my objective during the award, because I haven't talked about it, my objective during the award, I said during the scholarship award, I'll be able to deepen my understanding of general principles of international law and critically analyze these laws, which is, as basic as it can be. I will gain analytical skills, research and legal writing skills that will be helpful to my future goal of advocating for the rights of the rights of detainees awaiting what trial. Okay, and I also said I will work with the law clinic, which I eventually did. I worked with law clinic in the UK. So I said during the award, I will work with the law clinic, and I eventually applied for the law clinic and I joined them and I was able to work with them. I did pro bonus for them while I was while I was studying as a student. So you see that I was able to achieve that. So I said I will be part of the students offering free legal services pro bono, as well as gaining internships in law firms. I did not get that one because I didn't apply for internships, but I was focused on the law clinic, which I did even when we were done with our LLM. Okay. And this was part of what I did. I said I would hold seminars, I will also enlighten detainees after their release, you get, or during their if I am allowed in the prison, like to talk to them too, I will make sure that I also enlighten them about their rights, because lots of people don't understand that they have certain rights. So it's not like unlike other developed countries that other developed countries that we have almost everybody saying I know my right, I know my right, I know my right. So I would make sure that I educate them to let them know that these are your rights if you're being arrested or anything. Okay, so those are the kind of things I said I was going to achieve. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think we have one question on my slide. We already have questions coming in, but on my essay, because I'm looking side by side, I can see that there are two questions that would have come in under the objective. So we have detailed plan of study. Do you guys remember detailed plan of study and study outline? So if we can take those two, we will take the personal statement and voluntary leadership experience. It's just as brief as we can, as brief as we can. So Mercy, how was your detailed plan of study and your study outline? Just together.
Yeah, so for me, briefly, I'll just say you're going to a school that is a capitalist in a capitalist state. They are already
Yeah.
selling themselves without you going there. So they're going to tell you all the benefits of the school in their website. So all you just have to do is to go there, see how they are selling themselves, and then sell the course to
Start me
Commonwealth.
before you go.
Can I continue? Yeah, so you're
I'm
just trying
muted.
to sell yourself, sell the course the way they have sold it for other students that will be paying. So in terms of like your detailed plan of study, look at what the course is going to, like the modules that are. I think it's very interesting here to see how you can pick out modules that are interesting to the overall theme of your essays. For
Yeah.
example, if you're focusing on certain things like how will I put it? If you're focused on education for children and the course you're doing, they have certain courses that will actually help you gain more knowledge about what you're interested in. You can pull that into your detailed plan of the study in terms of what courses you want to learn, why are you picking these courses over other courses, and why this particular course is best for you to achieve your overall aim. I think essentially that's all you need to focus on. I'll give it to Ayola to talk more on this.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes, please, Ayola.
yeah, Messi has she has covered she has covered it all again as usual. So yeah, it's a capitalist country. One thing Commonwealth wants to know is if you understand the level of excellence the school that you are positing for has already expressed globally. So for me, what I did was, well, the UK is also a big institution for a big country for education.
Mm,
So in what I call toasting, I toasted the UK. I said, well, the UK has a number of schools in the top 1,000 best schools in the world. Then I came down to the University of Bristol. I said it is ranked in the top 60 in the world. But I didn't just stop there because that is quite that is broad. But I narrowed down into my course, into my faculty, and found out, oh, my faculty is the best in the UK, is one of the best in the world. Then based on this funnel approach from the UK to my university, to my faculty, then to my course, I made a statement of confidence that I am more than guaranteed that the institution has enough facilities to explore my area of interest. Bear in mind that I already stated my area of interest right from the beginning of my study, which is flooding and climate change. So I After that, I touched on the modules that this course has in offer. I looked at all of the research institutions that are associated with this program, and I connected them to my own personal development. So because it's a plan of study and it's a beautiful school and all of that, I still needed to make them understand that, okay, even though I already identified the exceptionality about this school, their professional affiliations still gives me even a greater chance than even what the course itself offers. So I was able to also express that. Then, after expressing those two things, the first thing, the excellence of the university in both research and teaching, the association with reputable research institutions. Then I looked at the modules and connected the modules to my area of interest. Then I went down to my area of interest and talked a bit about it again and connected it with specific modules that I think that would help me drive my research goals. Yeah, so that's how I approach that.
Okay. Thank you so much. And just to add to what everybody has said, this is where you need to go to your university website to check the particular course you're doing. And I just want to put a disclaimer on behalf of every of the speaker here that the fact that we are mentioning the kind of problems we saw does not mean that you should just focus on the problems. We are giving, at least we're being open and giving you perspectives. Okay, so imagine if I'm talking about detainees and every law every law student here or every law graduate here goes to their essays and start writing, I will solve the problems of detainees. You may end up just getting your essay trashed because you guys are saying almost the same thing. Please don't want to waste your energy. Okay, don't fall into that trap, please and please. Okay. um so what I did for my detailed plan of study, I went to the course outline on the website and I said I intend to study law and globalization at the University of Bristol. I talked about what the program is designed for. I said the program is designed for students to explore widely the theoretical and practical aspects of law and global issues. And if you look at this, what I'm just saying is actually on the website. So I read from the website and I summarized it in my own understanding. So it was nothing big, okay? I summarized it in my own understanding. And then I said the course is embellished with modules such as international law and human rights, general principles of international law, etc. And then which will widen my scope of knowledge. And then the aim of this module is to present students with this. And then I looked at it and talked about human rights and prohibition of torture, and I was just giving how the study. So a layman reading my study outline will be like, wow, this course actually relates to what she's even the problem she's talking about. So that course can even carry a lot of things, but you should just streamline it. Now, why am I saying this? Law and globalization was actually a very broad course. Under it, I had intellectual property, commercial law, commercial arbitration. There were different things under it. Okay. And you're allowed to choose 4 modules under the course. So I was able to relate my essay to those modules that would be relevant to what I was already talking about from the beginning. So I didn't want to start bringing intellectual property or trade and investment or the different there were even modules on technology law. There were different things on it. So I just related those relevant modules to my outline of study. And then detailed plan. So detailed plan of study and study outline can be very confusing. What you just need to know is study outline basically is about the program, while the detailed plan of study, you can now talk broadly about why you have chosen the course and what you will gain from the course, and at the same time why you have chosen to study in the UK, why you have chosen, and Ayola talked about it. It said he toasted the UK, right? So So your detailed plan of study should now relate to, why you're coming to the UK, why you've chosen that course, and how it will really benefit you, and the cultural differences coming to the UK, the personal connections like Mercy mentioned. So that's where you can now relate those things so that you don't get confused about the difference between study outline and then the detailed plan of study. So the last two essays we have to briefly touch on will be the personal statement and the voluntary and leadership experience. So I'll just give it to Mercy to just briefly talk on that, and then Ayola and myself, and then I would rush to the question section. Thank you.
Yeah, so um, I want to give my second tip of the day because I actually promised on my LinkedIn to give some tips, and this is all about giving tips. So, to answer the question of the personal statement, I always say this is not like the totality, this is my own experience. I think your personal statement should be divided into four parts. This can be contested, but this is my own opinion. Now, they are number one, your personal experience, your academic excellence, your leadership stride, and your personal growth. Now, this is because I think I've hacked personal statement, but that's my opinion. This is because this will help you not to tell just one side of your story for the entire part of your personal statement. Number one, this will also help you explain how your own personal experience have motivated you to do certain courses or giving you the strength and resilience needed to actually persevere. They know that going to the UK is going to be hard. So they have to see that, you see, doing so much or your ambition is not tied to going to the UK and coming back. Even in Nigeria, you have been doing so much. That way, you can talk about most of us, I don't know, most of us have this argument where we start by saying about how poor we are or having one interesting quote because apparently in Nigeria, all of us we are trekking 3 kilometers to go to school. We know. Or maybe you bring one quote from one place. Me, I like to use quotes, but don't go and use the quote that you just went to Google and say nice quotes. You just pick any quote that does not relate anything to your research. If you want to use a code, let the code reflect why you want to do your research. Like, for example, for me, I like to use Nelson Mandela saying education is the future of something, something. It relates. So that's another thing. So what is your personal experience? Okay, you were poor, you used to hawk biscuit in the road. That's fine. But that's not the only thing you say about your personal experience. But as in, irrespective of that poverty and the fact that you were walking 3 kilometers to go and fetch water to drink, you were able to also graduate well. Remember, Commonwealth essays are looking for smart people. So if you have your first class, your 2-1 or your 2-2 with a master's, obviously you know what you are doing in the school. So you have to also like link it up. Now, you were poor, okay? You did not have school fees, but even though you were working 15 jobs while you were in school, you finished with this particular grade, making you a top 1% in your class, top 5% in your class. For some of us, best in the faculty, best in the department. Let them understand. But then again, while you were in school, you understood that you could do more than just learn. So you took up certain leadership position. It can be in your school association. It can be maybe you formed a new group. Like for example, I said I formed a group that were giving books to young mothers that actually were forced into marriages because I did my undergrad in Zaria. So you will see young girls that are children that wanted to learn. So we're giving them most of our youth books. That is leadership. That's you're taking charge to solve a problem. And then you talk about how all these things have led you to do this. That way, it shows that even if you come to the UK and you are befuddled with all the nuances of a new country or society, you'll be able to persevere because you have been persevering in Nigeria. It will show that aside from academia, you can also harness, like what Ayola said, professional affiliations in the school that also enhance you and make you a better person. That is one way to look at the personal statement. Now, in terms of voluntary, something like that English is hard, Sha, and I'm not Yoruba. I don't know why.
Voluntary experience and
Experience. The thing is,
leadership experience.
yeah, you don't have. So if you follow this my tip, you're already bringing out some of your leadership stride. So to be like a walk in the park. You don't need to go and save the moon for you to bring out what you have done as a volunteer. Your
Mm,
volunteering job can be as easy as helping children, helping maybe helping your church go for an outreach program. That's one way to look at it. Helping your department organize free tutorials. That's one way to look at it. The little things you have done in your life that you know they did not pay you for is volunteering. But the point is, how do you write it? You see the way you write a CV where you tell them maybe you change a bulb, you talk about bringing light to the whole society. That's how you pen it down. So penmanship is another thing you have to master. That is why it's good to give other people your work to look at. So I'll leave it here so that other people can throw more light.
Yeah, just
thank
to add to
you.
what Messi has said, I
Yes,
think you
please.
should hold on to the tips Messi has just given. I think that's like
Mm-hmm.
the best way
Yeah,
to write
very,
a
very
personal
important.
statement.
Yeah.
But for me, there's a slight distinction um, to Messi's tip. It's not really a big one. For me, yes, see, I think reviewers, persons who read our essays are tired of saying that we are all poor. Yeah, you are poor. Your grandfather died, so that was what made you interested in the science. That's not true. In fact, what it eventually leads to is that you try to lie your way through the essay.
Mm,
In the real sense of it, yeah, it could be from a professional standpoint.
mm,
You could just all you need to start your essay with is what got you interested in that study, in that area of
mm,
research. It doesn't have to be a pitiful story. For me,
mm,
the way I wrote mine was okay. There was so much flood around me, and I wanted to know why that was happening, and so
mm,
that was my drive. And so when I got to the university and I found out that oh, this thing still continues and it's not based on human occupation alone, then there was something deeper than that. So that was my drive. I didn't have to come tell anybody that my dad died, or I mean, for me, flood never carried my mama before, never carried my papa before. So
mm,
to say flood is the reason why persons have died is not my story. So a personal statement is your story. It could be from your professional standpoint or your academic standpoint, whichever it is. Hold on strongly to that. And as Messi has said, sell yourself so much in your personal statement. For me, one of the ways I sold myself was I said I had a publication and I put it there. And prior to that, I already made some publications on LinkedIn. So I said I had publications so on LinkedIn. And I put all of this, I put the URL in my essay
mhm,
to say, oh, if you want to really confirm this, you could go check all of these things. I also, yeah, I think I just basically sold myself in that part of the essay. And for the voluntary and leadership experience, I mean, Messi said everything that you need to know about it.
mm,
Whatever you do that you're not paid the voluntary experience. For me, I had to go back and look into. So when we were growing up, there were potholes in our road, and so on Saturdays, just like we do environmental, we'll fill cement bags with sand. I'll now place it in the pothole so that when it rains, flood doesn't erosion doesn't take over that part. It's as simple as that. That's a voluntary experience.
mm,
You could say on Saturday doing environmental in Nigeria that you are the one that leads your neighborhood. I mean, you don't have to tell lies, but you have to find a way to be creative about what you've done that you think was impactful on the society. And for the leadership experience, for me, I think one of the things that helped me was I was into school politics, so I was able to
mm.
narrate
Good one. Mm,
my impact as a
mm,
politician in school. Now, so when you tell your leadership experience and your voluntary experience, quantify it. Quantify it. So for my leadership experience, I said, oh, when I was treasurer of this association, this was the number of the people in the association, and I was responsible for this. And in my time, we achieved this. You give them quantities. I said I was part of an NGO that was responsible for environmental sanitation. And I said we're
mm.
able to contribute this amount of waste basket to this amount of schools. So while you're also telling your leadership experience, sell yourself, quantify all of the impact that you've had, just like you've done in your CV.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have Sir Dewale who has been waiting, and I'm so sorry. I was even trying to reach out to you. Thank you so much for joining, sir. So can you just we're on the last bit. So we're on personal statements, voluntary experiences and leadership, and then you can also add publications to it, which Ayola reminded us of. So please, sir, thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I think
Thank you.
Messi and Nayola, they've done justice to
Mm,
that question. I've been listening at the background, at the back end rather. So my own addition to what they have said is that yes, something motivated you uh, to want to get a master's degree, and something motivated you to want to go through what's it called? Go through Commonwealth Scholarship. So
mm,
you should be, emphatical about that, and also what you aim to achieve, what developmental issues around you that you think that you could solve, and also like I think I've mentioned it earlier, Commonwealth Scholarship Commission is looking for people that have developmental um, development potentials. It's not all about say they are aware that some people might want to leverage that scholarship to, use leverage that scholarship to leave the country or things like that. However, they want people that are going to promote their core values. The objectives of Commonwealth Scholarship Commission is very clear, you know, to it's all about international development and sustainable development. So you need to tailor your personal statement towards this, and also drive home your points, especially your motivations to do that. So, and someone who has developmental potential will have started somewhere. You understand? Maybe in your own little way, in your own little closet, in your own corner, at in your house, or within your community. You should be able to sell it out. Some of us, yes, like Ayola said, some of us involved ourselves in school politics. Like me now, I contested for my department lead. Unfortunately, I lost the election, and since then, my colleagues have been calling me vice chancellor because I was bearing the same surname with the vice chancellor then. So because of the impact and all the stakeholdership, you know that have been promoting, there are some people within the faculty that you need to get their buy-in before you you get anything. So I think I belong to that category of people, and I actually put that forward as well. And my activities on LinkedIn as well. I've been passionate about developing young people. I see them as being being the future leaders. So I put that forward, and I quoted my what's it called, my followership and my connections, and like Ayola did, I put my link, my URL
mm,
there, just for confirmation, and all these
mm,
things that I've been doing within my closet, mentoring and all the likes. You understand, to just put forward my developmental initiatives and all that. So those were the things I did. It was it was a long story, but I had to limit myself to the word count, and uh, reduce what I had to prioritize. I had a lot of things to write, but I had to prioritize which one will hit most. So I had to put them forward first before I started to write about other things. So those were just the
mm.
things I did. Those were just the things I did. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. We have all said a lot of useful information. Thank you so much. And for me, sincerely, everything you guys said was what I did. And like I said, I am not surprised we all studied the same year. So one thing I would just add for the personal statement is your personal statement is very personal. It's very personal to you, and you don't need to make it a very emotional one, like Ayola said. So if you have an emotional story, please put it out there too. But if you don't have something to cry about, you should have a problem which you don't necessarily need to cry about. Okay, it can be a problem, a professional problem, Okay. And if you don't have publications, don't be scared to also you can include things that maybe you wrote under your boss. Do you understand? It doesn't have to be something that's been published, right? In the sense of it, you could have
Can I
written
can
and
I can I
you could have
interject it? So writing on LinkedIn and using the published link on LinkedIn is also a publication, although it is not recognized as an
yeah,
academic publication, but you can use that
yeah.
too.
Yeah, so I'm talking about not even someone that does not even have anything. Do you
Yeah,
get?
yeah.
So someone that does not have anything
Sorry,
but
Traffic,
has worked. Sorry.
for your final year project is a
Yeah,
publication.
your final
You
year
submitted it to
project
your
is
university. It's not
yeah,
online, but it's a
I'm
publication.
telling you, your final year. Thank you for reminding me because I actually included. You can include your final year project. Your project work is a publication, whether it was not published or not. So far as you wrote something down, and then if you want to also add more things, you can mention research that you did even in school. Okay, even if it was assignments, you can mention them as assignments and areas you researched on. And if you research something with a senior colleague, you can also mention them. And if they are published even with the name of the senior colleague and you, so far as your name is there too, you can, if you have a link, just put it there. And as Ayola mentioned, your LinkedIn link, please
The
put them.
publication, yeah.
Any little article that you know you had written on LinkedIn, they are very important. And yeah, that's it.
Sorry, article that is in line with what you are putting in for, not just the
And not
normal.
just, yeah, not just I mean, we've been saying be consistent. So from the beginning of the essay to the publications to the personal statement, it must all align with what we have been talking about. Okay, don't don't write something that is not related. Okay, so we're now in the question and answer segment. So let's just go through the questions. So I'm starting from the top. Like I mentioned, we're going to take all questions and we're taking from the top. So I have one question there from Emmanuel. So I believe we've read the question. He said, my passport will not be ready before the deadline. Can I use my digital NIN from NIMS mobile app, or what do you suggest I can do? Any answer, anybody can just pick up. Do you have
Personally,
So
anything?
my
Mm,
my
yeah,
passport.
yeah.
Let me let our engineer speak.
Ayola.
No. I'm just saying. Whatever means of identification you have should suffice.
Mhm.
If they need your passport, they would ask you for it. But if they specifically ask for your passport, then that's a problem. But if it's not asked for, just indicate what you've put in there and just just let it be.
I actually think it's
That's
passport or NIN.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
National
passport.
identification.
National
yeah,
ID, that's the NIN. Yeah. So
yeah.
I
So
think if you don't have your passport now, you can put in your NIN. Make sure it has your name, your country, everything. Don't just put a code because they can't start scanning Nigerian code or anything. Let it be. And most of all this, let me not talk rubbish. We're on live. So so just make sure that your name, your country, and everything is there. NIN, and then please try and get your international passport. You will need it. You will need it if you want to travel abroad. So try and get that. Okay. So I think that's answered. Okay. Next question is, what is the minimum number of referees? I think it's three,
So
right?
yeah, but I think one advice I would like to give just for
Okay.
free is apply to many schools as possible, but keep your referee list the same. So I made that mistake where I applied. I think I applied to 7 schools, and I gave them about a mix of about 24 referees because I am my teacher's baby now. So I felt it was okay. It was when I started because I think I got 3. So all of them were asking me for 3 different referee or reference lists, and that was very
Mm,
tedious. So you just have to get the same 3 references: professional, academic, personal,
yeah.
and at the end of the day, if 2 out of the 3 submit a reference, you're good to go. But
Yeah.
just to be sure, make sure the 3 of them can submit a reference. And if you have never worked in your life, you can have 2 academic and 1 personal.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Next question is about the objectives. So in my objectives during the awards, I have been more specific in my essays. For example, instead of saying I will secure intern opportunities, I have been saying I will secure intern with XYZ. That means it's mentioning the names of the companies. So this is the continuation of the question. XYZ are companies I have researched about close to the school location. I hope that works. So you're
No, it
mentioning
doesn't.
internships in the UK.
No,
So what do you guys think?
mentioning places close to the institution doesn't work. I think you
Mm,
should keep it open. I
mm,
think for me, what I did and what I would advise is,
mm,
so I divided it into three things. What are the objectives during the award? So there are three
mm,
things I would like to achieve during the award. The school is an excellent school, so I would like to gain excellence in that area of study.
mm,
Secondly, I've also identified that, oh, there are so many professional affiliations with this school. So
mm,
I put it there that I was also interested in my development, in my for a career projection basically. So
mm,
so the first section basically focused on excellence that I would get from the school. The second section focused on the professional affiliations and what that would do for me
mm,
after my uni. Then the third one was basically um, more aligned to my long-term goals in that sense. So these three areas were what I focused on in my own objectives during the awards. So identifying places that you would intern with might not be the best way to do it. Okay, I think let me just give you a read from my objectives. I said I'll pursue excellence and seek continuous improvement through my master's program by exploring techniques and existing innovations that have been adopted in development nations, particularly in flooding, which can be easily integrated into Nigeria. Then I said to achieve this, I will immerse myself in class sessions and discussions with particular interest to grasp the underlying factors responsible for climate risk, the tools required to gather and analyze the data, and how to strengthen resilience. Basically, that is the objective during the award for excellence. And so I just base it on just those three things: excellence, development, and career projection.
okay, thank you. Um, does any other person have a contribution to this question?
I think Ayola said my mind. He said
Okay,
everything that really should be said. I think it's
okay,
good that you're looking at places close to the school, but also think about how, for example, some courses will allow you have certain opportunities, and even the school can also have opportunities for you. So keep it open.
yeah, keep it open. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, next question. So I think this question is for me. So the person said the issues to be discussed, say in law. Okay, say in law, should it be related to law in general or should it be narrowed to the area of law you're applying for? So basically, to be narrowed to the particular course you're applying for. So if it is human right, if it's LLM in human rights, you should narrow those issues to that particular LLM. For me, my LLM, like I told you, was broad, very broad. So it was even an issue trying to streamline. But as I found out that there were issues of human rights, I just took that one, you know, as an issue in what I was doing. I think I recently saw the LLMs that are available this time around, and I saw things like human rights, policy. I can't remember now, but just make sure that you don't just bring up legal issues because there are lots of legal issues. Make sure that you streamline your legal issue to that particular cause, okay, so that it follows um through every single essay or every single question that you have to answer. Okay. Um so I think do we have any contribution? Mercy.
Okay.
Totally
Um,
agree. I totally agree
Okay.
with you. And I think the more specific you are, the more they know you are prepared and you have done the work.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Another question says application ends on the 14th of December, and according to them, you need to have applied to a university, and secured admission. What if you apply to schools and admission administration is not, or let's say admission is not confirmed by the school year, yeah, you can apply. So just keep applying and say you have applied and you intend to study. Okay, you don't need to show proof of admission now, but you will need to show proof of admission at least by the time they contact you that see you have been nominated. Okay, you will need admission by that time, and for sure you will get your responses of admission before that time. Schools usually are fast. Within 2 to 3 months you will get your admission, so just keep applying for your scholarship. Did I answer the question, or do we have any contribution there?
I think Ayola, you want to say something, or let me let you say something.
No, no, she answered it. You can even apply after the scholarship has
Mm-hmm.
been
Okay, let
has
me
ended.
let me add to that.
But
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, there's still like one or two aspects of the scholarship I think we've not covered. One is the selection process. The selection process. I want to say that Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is actually, I see it as actually the best of all the scholarships that you know are offered by Common CSE, because the selection is done by the school. The school nominates you to Commonwealth Commonwealth scholarships for final selection, just to get their buy-in as well. The thing is that, so I think some school, the selection process, the selection criteria are different from school to school. In the sense that some schools, they will want you to indicate interest, send you some questionnaire to fill first before they instruct you to go and fill that form. So what I would just advise is know the school you want to go to and understand the selection process. So don't just go ahead and make applications blindly, and and at the end your name is not registered with the school in the first place. So they'll just you know trash your application and not consider at all. They won't even open your application. So the thing is that if you identify an eligible school and an eligible course, go to that school and understand the selection process first, as stated on the school website. So the school website should be able to give you enough information on how you go about your scholarship. I think Cranfield University will ask you to do something before they ask
Yeah,
you to go and apply. So don't
yeah,
just waste that your effort. Information is powerful.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you need to, so that you know that you are directing your efforts to the right, to get the right result. Like me, I applied to University of the West.
Hello. Can we hear him?
Sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah, we
me?
can hear you now.
So I already had an unconditional offer, and I discovered that the school had only 3 nominations. Just
Hello. I think it's
they had
breaking.
the, so can you hear me? So I also
Yes.
discovered that some schools can also select up to 12. Even I discovered that even in the course of during our sets, Cranfield increased their quota from, I think, from 12 to 17. So for those schools, you should know that a school that is selecting 17 scholars, you should know that you have high chance than a school that
Mm,
is selecting just 2 or 3. So
true.
you should know where to direct your energy. Just do your analysis and see that, okay, if I apply to this school, my chances are narrow. If I apply to this school, at least this one is better, things like that. So those are just the two things I would like to add, so that you should know where to direct your energy and where to direct your effort. Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you. Thank
also,
you.
I think you should also remember that you can also add your application number. It doesn't have to be your school number if you're here to have an admission. But when you
Exactly.
start registering for a school, they'll give you an application number. So that can also
Yeah.
be a way. So just, I think, register. I think start the process. It would be nice for you to be
Yeah.
done, or just be in the
Mhm.
process and have something to prove that you're in the process. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go to the next question. Can one submit different essays? Yes, sure. You can submit different essays. You're applying to different schools. There are different courses, and there will be different problems. So, like for me, I did four applications for Commonwealth. So, and I did them under different courses. I even went, and I think this should be like, it's like a bonus. So if you see that the courses there are kind of limited, and that's what Commonwealth Shared Scholarship does, although its process is actually a very clear and very nice process, but they limit you to the courses. So you can't actually choose the type of LLM you want to do. That is the type of masters you want to do. So recently someone met me and was telling me that the master she's seeing there for law is not of interest to her, and I was like, you can't apply for a course that's outside what Commonwealth has stated as their eligible courses. So what you can do in that case is you can look for other social courses, since law is a social is a pure art, of course, but we know that there are some social courses that we can do, like policy making. So I actually applied for even international security and development. I actually applied for, I'm telling you, Mercy, I actually got admission. I got admission in University of Strathclyde, because there are legal issues that you can relate when it comes to policy. There's no other person that can do it. Of course, Mercy will argue with me, but a lawyer is at the forefront of legal issues and policies. So I saw that as an advantage, and I applied for, and I got admission. Applied for University of Strathclyde. I got admission, but I didn't get the scholarship, for that course. But at least you see that it was a good try. It was a good try. And you can try that. Okay, you can apply for courses that are related to your course. Okay, and if you're transitioning to another course, let's say you're leaving law and going to tech, you will really need to prove why you're going to tech, and how law has prepared you to be able to transition into that tech and all. Okay, so it's not a bad thing to transition. You could be lucky to get it. Okay.
Can
um
I
yeah,
contribute now?
yeah, contribute.
I'm not
Start.
going to negate anything that the lady of Frida has said, because obviously I don't want to start an argument with her, and I'm a very, very free person. But I think to this
Hmm,
question, I think it also depends
let's
on your
not argue.
themes.
Okay.
Because I have a couple of students I'm actually mentoring on the process, and I tell them,
Mm,
if you're actually writing on a particular theme, it is okay for your essays to be very similar. You can just go
yeah,
and change the school and change the course outline, but like certain things like your personal statement, your voluntary work, your career
yeah.
projections, they can
Mm-hmm.
be the same. Even the
Mm,
developmental issues are the same, as long as you're applying for the same theme.
the
Just
same,
like
yeah.
applying for, like for example, during my time, I think I applied for seven schools under the Commonwealth. I got admission. I applied for 13 schools for the UK. I got admission to the 13. Then I applied seven out of it for the Commonwealth, and then I got
Mm,
into three. I got three scholarships. But at the same time, all my essays were the same thing. It's just few things I was changing, because me, I was not focused on access and inclusion. I was only focused on international development, and then any derivative like international development and security, conflict and transformation, you
yeah.
can write this because you cannot write more than 11 essays 5 times. That's 55 essays. Who has the time?
Mm,
So if you
mm.
are, except you are picking
You
like
just have to change, yeah.
Lady
Mm,
Afrida is very, very, she likes to challenge herself. That's why she was picking for public policy when she's a lawyer. But anyway, you can do
you
that.
know
But you
me,
can
yeah.
also find courses within the same theme to make it easier for you. I'll give you a couple
Yeah.
more tips. If you have the same courses, it makes it easier for you to
Mm,
write a very good essay and just apply it. So you are changing
mm,
certain keywords, but it's the same essay. And also, don't let people tell you that because a particular university is only taking one or two candidates, you should apply to the ones taking 10. One of the university I got a scholarship in, Queen University Belfast, they were only taking one candidate, and it was me. So, and I still
mm,
rejected it. So give your best shot. You don't know, maybe there's something about what you're interested in that will capture their interest. So
mm,
just give your best shot, do your research, and use your essay. If your essay is good, use it. If your essay You cannot go and lie.
Mm.
That's the point. But if you're writing different essay for different scholarship, it feels like you're a bit confused. Except you're doing what the lady Frida is saying, which is applying for different courses under different themes. So
Under
obviously
different
your essay will
things,
need to
yeah.
metamorphose
Mm.
and transform. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you so much. So yeah, how do schools nominate applicants for a shared scholarship when the scholarship platform only allows selecting one essay one CSC theme? No, it doesn't allow you to select just one. You can select up to three themes, and you don't need to apply for just one school during the application. You can do one application, you can decide to even pause it and do another one. So you can do different application, not just one. Not just one. Okay. And the schools have their ways of nominating. They will nominate. That's not for us to actually tell you how they nominate, but they will nominate their candidates. Okay. The shared scholarship, why it's called shared is because the universities and the scholarship body are actually sharing responsibility. Okay, while one is paying for your tuition accommodation, another one is paying for certain other things. So they're actually sharing, and then they're also sharing the fact that the school will nominate you to them. So they will nominate, they know how they do it. Okay, and you can apply for more than one, and you can select more than one theme, as Mercy has also said. I'm just trying to run as fast as I can, but I believe I've answered that question. Or Mercy, do you have
I
anything to
think it
need?
also depends on how hungry you are.
Mm,
So, see, I've known someone that applied for 11 scholarship
mm-hmm.
and they cut across three different themes. So, if you're hungry, you can apply for more than one. Okay, you can
Okay.
apply many. Even me, self, I applied plenty. And then those people that have first class in this, in that are listening to this, first class does not guarantee you a scholarship.
Nah,
If you
but
do not
it's
sell
an
yourself,
advantage, yeah.
you come up short
But sell,
because
yeah, sell yourself.
yeah, and at the same time, you should also understand that scholarship is a battlefield. But instead of battling with knife
Mm,
and everything, you're battling
mm,
with your ideas. So you
mm.
have to actually sell yourself, and then don't be so humble about who you are. You can
Yeah, very
practice
true.
humility as a lifestyle. But when you're applying and competing for something, you have no. I remember the first time I applied for Commonwealth, I was really really shy about telling them who I was because I was thinking like they will figure it out themselves. I was a reserve. I didn't get in. So the one I
Mm.
got in actually they ended up closing the school because of COVID. Because I got into two. One was a reserve and the other one closed up. So I had to wait an extra year because of COVID. So don't be shy. Tell them who you are. Make yourself look beautiful. Paint yourself well. The way some girls when they rub makeup, they transform. Transform yourself. Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, do you have thank you, Mercy. Sir Dewali, do you have any contribution on this too?
No, no, not really, not really. I think Messi has done justice to that. So
All right,
thank you very
thank
much.
you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So, like Mercy said, first class does not actually give you the scholarship. So you need to sell yourself. You need to really show why you must get that scholarship. And you can prove that in your personal statement. You can also prove that in your problem, getting the problem issues and all the essays that we've talked about. Write it excellently. It's a battlefield, okay? So don't say, oh, I wrote, I didn't get it. All the things people told me, I didn't get it. No, you need to put the work and accept responsibility for yourself. Don't feel like someone will write the essay for you. If you want to maybe give someone to write, that's fine. Nobody's judging you. I don't know. But just make sure that you take it as serious as, I don't know, as it can ever be. Take it seriously. Next question is someone's
Um,
asking or saying,
Afrida, let me quickly add something to that.
okay,
The thing is that, like I said earlier, you have the opportunity to submit as many times as possible before
yeah,
the end date. So, what I do basically, what I did during my time was first add a draft. You understand?
mm,
When I was sure of what I had written, I submitted. I didn't when I submitted, I actually didn't leave it at that stage. I started reflecting on what I wrote, that what could I have done better. You understand? So when I was listening to other people's view, things like that, I started gaining more insights. You understand? So I will
Mm,
now go back to that part I felt, you know, I didn't write well. I'll go back. I I'll go back there, rewrite, change my grammar, and also I use this Grammarly that time just to correct my
Grammarly,
grammar
yeah.
and stuff like that. So that was what I the, that was how I you know went about it. Just before the
Okay.
final day, then I was sure
Mm,
that yes, this is the final submission. Then I submitted and I was now praying to God for selection.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I'm rushing because I don't want us to. This is we've spent more than 2 hours, and I want us to be able to um answer the questions that we've not already talked about. So I think we talked about this already before this question came out. We talked about the impact measurement. So please, you need to go back to this video. If you missed that, we talked extensively on the impact measurement. Um, Also, someone is asking about the different themes. Mercy has already answered that question. Thank you, Mercy. Um, Someone also saying, don't forget the study outline. Yes, we forgot it, but we came back to the study outline. So we answered this one too. Um, and sir, someone was greeting you and saying we are seeing your doings on LinkedIn. Yes, we can see. And he
I
has
don't know why they
more
are not
than
seeing my own doings on LinkedIn.
we're all seeing your doings, all your doings, including your mercy.
Yeah, but Sir
So can
Adewale is
one
actually up there.
Thank
We
you
are
very
learning
much.
from him.
thank you, sir. So can one work during the scholarship, either a body or an NGO? This is not a scholarship question, but let's have it.
Yes, you can work 20 hours a week, but also depends on the kind of work you're looking at. You can also get like partnered into an NGO or a body as part of your studies. So it will count as you're not being paid most times, but it's part of your studies. I remember during my studies, I actually worked as a consultant with an NGO. That was part of my studies. I also worked. I was also part of the PLN network, where I was partnered with the Department of Environment and something, the UK department here. So that was still part of my studies or part of my academic work. So it depends on what you're looking at about working. But in terms of working to earn money, during term time, you can work for 20 hours. And when you're on holiday, I think you can work for 40 hours. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, thank you so much. Someone is saying, can we use religious publications? I think we said it that your publication should relate to your cause. So if it actually relates to it, why not? Or do we have any objection or anything? You can let me know too.
So during my time, I didn't have I wasn't working in the academia. Sorry, the
Mm.
academics. The academia rather. So didn't have any publication at all. So like I said, the selection process is dependent on the school criteria for selection. So just get familiar with the criteria, then ensure that you meet those criteria so that you can put forward your application properly.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Um Next question. Maximum application can be done unlimited. You can do as many as we've said that already. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. um so someone said about the project topic, since it's not uploaded online or published, will it just suffice to write down the project topic without anything more? Yes, you can write down the project topic. You can write it down even if it's not published anywhere. Write it down, put it as your final year project.
And then
You
you say
can.
submitted to your university senate
Thank you.
as part of the requirement to get your bachelor's degree.
Thank you. Yeah. So that one is just enough. You can't show them anything more. Okay. So what do you advise for a person who has not started the process of application but wants to start the process to be part of the next academic session? Is it possible looking at the deadline? If you're determined enough, you can actually start your application because it ends on the 14th of December. If you're determined enough, you can
I think
start by going to the schools, go to the university website, check the courses, also check from the scholarship website, and then start your application. Remember, you can apply for admission after the deadline. The deadline is just for the scholarship. Okay. Let's see, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think Bristol was the last application I made, and I made Bristol's application in like 5 hours to the deadline. I was
Mhm.
very nonchalant about it because I already applied for others. But I think what happened was someone told me Bristol was giving 10 scholarship, B10 scholarship, and it was part of the top 10 universities in the UK. I was like, okay, let me just apply. And then it didn't take me more than five because I already had my essays anyway. But
Mm.
there's a first part of this question we did not answer, which is if you want to apply for the next academic season, if for academic session. So if you want to do not this one, the next one, I think you should start thinking about how to boost your profile, who you are. You can
Oh
start
yeah.
becoming more active on LinkedIn. You can
Mm.
start volunteering. You can start thinking about what problem do you want to solve. How can the little actions you do daily can reflect that you are really, really passionate about the issue. You can start looking at your okay. Do I want to public? Do I want to publish anything? You can even use Medium, which is an open access means of
Yeah. Yeah,
of
medium.
publishing your
Yeah.
stuff. You
Yeah.
can start looking for mentorship from people that actually have gotten the scholarship. Follow relevant people on social media, LinkedIn. Follow people like Scholarship Hacks with your Frida, this particular platform. Watch the videos. Start preparing your essays. The essay doesn't really change. Do you understand? So make
Yeah.
yourself like buff yourself up so that when you apply, it will be like a one shot application. Then wow, you get the
Yeah.
scholarship. And good luck to everyone anyway.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you so much. So do you have any response? Do you want to contribute to that one? Or should we move to the next question?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes, we are here to promote Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. You know, is I think we hold this to the commission to ensure that we create this awareness and also propagate the the core values of the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, and to ensure that the information gets to the right people and the right people are encouraged to apply. So I think we are actually achieving that mandate this evening. However,
Mm.
I would say that yes, the application process may be a very daunting one. You require a lot of effort to put down your application, and I feel that some people get disappointed if at the end of the day they don't get nominated or something like that. So what I would just advise is that don't put all your eggs in one basket. There are several other opportunities out there that you can explore. You don't need to
Mm.
limit yourself to only only Commonwealth scholarship. The school you are applying to might have their own scholarship programs as well. You can also put in your application too. What is done at the end of the day if you are nominated for the two is to ask you to select one. So, and also there are other non-governmental organizations, foundations and all and the likes all around the world that are giving scholarships to underserved societies, underrepresented populations and stuff like that. So you need to get to know them, get to know those scholarship platforms, especially the website where you can get up to date information about scholarship opportunities and the rest. So I wish you all the best as you put up your applications, and I pray that you all get selected and share the good news with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. But please don't leave us. We're not yet done. That sounded almost like a closing remark. But thank
Okay.
you. Thank
I'm still here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for encouraging youths out there sincerely. Meeting you was a very, very nice experience. And since then, we have not I'm not sure I've regretted it. So thank you
If
so
one of
much.
my mentors, whether he agrees or not.
So there's this
Thank you very
question.
much.
There's this question about marriage. Sincerely, I don't know if we can be able to answer this question, but we can provide at least, show you where you can get answers. But someone is saying she's married but not with child. But what if she gets pregnant next year, or give birth before September? Will she need to, apply for child support? I think you can get this on the scholarship website, bringing children, every
Yeah.
single question will be answered on the scholarship website. Because I mean, I was not married by the time I left, or by the time I applied. I'm Mercy too. And it was only Sir Dewale, but you did not apply for child support now, did you? You did not.
No, no. I think
Mm-hmm.
what will happen is that if at the end of the day you get selected, I think child support is for single parents. That's if you are a single parent.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think I read about that. But you can
Okay.
still go to the website and read about that. I think it's
Okay.
for single parents. If you have a dependent that that your movement to UK will be
Mm,
adversely affected, so
mm,
you can apply for child support. But I wouldn't want you to put your mind at that. Just apply for yourself. The child will be okay. If at the end of the day you have your child or you are pregnant at that time, I think that you can reach out to your program officer. If at the end of the day you get selected, you can reach out to your program officer and that person will advise you. But I think for the child support is for, I think it's for single parents, not
okay.
But I also
not
think it may also be for people that have really little children.
what?
But at the same time, I think you should focus on the application.
Yes,
The
yes.
pregnancy you're thinking about, until that time comes when he's actually there, then you can start thinking about how to navigate that. But
Mm,
remember this, when you apply for scholarship and you are chosen, they take care of you properly. So they're going to answer your emails promptly and they'll give you a
yeah.
range of suggestions. So don't worry about that at all.
Mm, mm. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I don't have anything to add to that. Someone is asking if they can stay back in the UK after studies. Mercy, can you just
Uh,
so that we need to push forward. So if you can just answer that, and then I have
uh,
so many other questions.
so uh according to what you signed, you're supposed to go back home. So if you choose
Mm,
not to go back home, it's not because I said you should not go back home. Personally, I went back home. I just came back like 2 months, 3 months ago to start my PhD. So if you are signing to come for Commonwealth, so if you want to stay back, how do you want to do all those things you said in your essay?
mm,
So stop thinking about staying back for now. First of all, try to get a scholarship. Whatever decision you make should be yours. It shouldn't be something that will be on YouTube and they say Messi Martin said people should stay back. Me, I went back home. Oh. Commonwealth, I went back home.
all right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm still at home.
The thing is, if you focus on I want to come back, you won't get a very nice essay, because you start focusing on I want to come back. So you won't be able to place yourself in that environment, of that creative environment, to get creative and creative ideas and challenging issues. So just focus on your essay, write your essay, and if you're given the opportunity to travel abroad, you should think of, actualizing the things that you mentioned. At least to an extent, you should think of that. And if you want to further your research in that particular area, Commonwealth allows you to get a PhD, which you can actually come back maybe to Nigeria and then switch to a PhD scholarship. Okay, that is, it's even on their website. They can allow you to get a PhD. Nothing stops you from getting a PhD to further your studies. Okay, so basically that's like the best I can give you now. Thank
Wait,
you
wait,
very
wait.
much.
There's also the thing about having a sponsored job. So if
Mm,
you finish your masters and you get a sponsored job, Commonwealth will also allow you stay. Apparently.
Okay. So someone is asking, my question is what possible universities? You will search on the website, you get the universities, they are there on the website. We can't start mentioning the university because most of them that we add on our own list may not be there. So they keep changing because it's actually what they do is they bid for the universities who bid, and then certain universities will actually get their biddings and all of that. So just check on the website, you see the universities. Please, what possible universities can one study some online courses relating to law? I will still say check online. Just check online masters in law. Okay, since you're looking at online study, this is not. If it was Commonwealth distance learning too, I will still tell you to check online because that's where you will get the answers. Okay, just check online courses for law, or law LLM online, things like that will just give you universities that have online programs. Okay, Mercy, someone said is going to connect with you, so don't worry. I believe you will
I was
receive.
joking. It's
I
fine,
believe you will
guys.
receive the connection request.
Yes.
And another question is, please clarify. I think this was relating to what we said about so yes, you can apply for, you can have your different applications ongoing. Okay, so if you go to the website, they will tell you register, you register, and then you start application. So you can have like 4 applications on the website that you've not even finished, you've not submitted. For me, I submitted my application 1 hour, like Sir Adewale said, I was coming back every time to review. I was reviewing, I was correcting, I was doing different things. So you can have 4 applications that are still ongoing, at the same time. They are running simultaneously. You don't need to have finished one first before you start the other. Okay, am I wrong? Can anybody,
I want to add to
contribute?
that, please.
Mm-hmm.
I think another thing you can use you can also actually boycott the application and write on your word before you
Yeah, on your
transfer
Word
it there.
document.
So you
Yeah.
can use that to be you can, for example, for me, in my Word document, I have CSC application for University of, let's say, Queen's University, Belfast, CSC application for Strathclyde, CSC application for Kent, for Bristol. So each of them, you can still have the same essay, but then you'll be changing them according to what, excuse me, according to the nuances of your particular courses. So that way, when you are ready to submit, you just open the whole document and be copy and pasting. Makes it easier for you than going back and forth to the whole. Sha, it depends on what you like. If you like the CSE, the whole internet structure, maybe you can be going back and forth there.
Okay, the last sir, do you have any contribution on that last one?
No, 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 no.
Okay, okay. So maybe you can take up this question now. She's asking, I graduated with a 2-2, no masters yet, but I have a track record of work in development and I've been intentional with online visibility, especially on LinkedIn. Do I stand a chance? So Sir Adewale, please can you take that question? That question.
Okay. Lastly, you said lastly on my hand, I graduated with 2-2, no masters here, but I have a good track record of work in development and I've been intentional. Yes, I think you stand a chance if you can prove to the commission or to your school that you have development potentials, and also if, like you said, your track record, if you can pull them out and expand on them, share your achievements, share your successes, and um, all the things you've been able to do within that space. So that will actually complement your tutu. Yes, like I said, they're actually looking for people that are intentional about development. So I know that people cannot just wake up one day and be saying that yes, I'm intentional about development. You must have done something, in that regard. So like you said, just put up your, you know, arrange your the track record that you're talking about, and then make sure that you write well on them in your essays. So for LinkedIn, we are not saying that you must have visibility on LinkedIn. No, you may be doing well on other social media. It's not everybody that's a LinkedIn influencer. You understand? You may be doing well on other social media. You can actually put that up. LinkedIn is just a professional platform that everybody, every professionally inclined persons they subscribe to. So we are just using that as an example. If you are good, if it's your Instagram, if it's your Facebook or stuff like that, then you can put that up. If some of your work are featured there, you could put those ones up as well. So those are just my contributions.
Can I
Mercy.
add to this, please? Because
Yeah.
I think I need to add to this because one of my mentees here, and she has a tutu, and she's a bit worried about it. So Commonwealth like first class and 2-1 students. They particularly even like first class students, if we're being honest. But they're also all about potential. So it's one thing to say, oh, because I have tutu, they will not give me the opportunity. But you can never know if you don't try. So
Mm,
I think one of the general advice I'll give is to put your best foot forward. Your potential is not just characterized by your grades.
mm,
So it depends on the kind of essays you put forward and how you explain to them why they should pick you. I have friends that studied outside Nigeria that they chose, even though they would prefer people that study in a particular location. It's about
mm,
explaining to them why they should pick you. That's one. And having online visibility in LinkedIn is good, but for me, I didn't even know how LinkedIn operated when I was applying. I was that
mm,
out of the whole scene. It was now that I was in the scene that I'm in the system, I started to appreciate LinkedIn. So don't let anything you think you don't have weigh you down. Use what you have, focus on what you have, and that's all about putting your best foot forward. That's what I feel.
mm, mm. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think that's the last question that we have for today.
And Lady
Um,
Delphine, I thought I saw a question on
what was
uh,
that?
okay, I don't think there is. I think I saw a question. I can't see it anymore. It's okay.
Was it the one on CSC? I answered that one in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Ayola left because he had some other engagements. So I'm really grateful. We plan to have this session for 2 hours, but okay, we have another question. So we'll just take that a final question. So, oh my God. I hope we're not having more questions right now, you guys. Okay. So she said, can I apply to a school course slash course if I don't meet the GPA requirement? Hmm. Mostly, I would say that it's good to actually meet the requirements. For me, I prefer to meet the requirements before I apply for something. Although where you have like they mentioned, where you have um strong points, you can actually apply, but that doesn't guarantee anything, right? That doesn't guarantee. It's just you're just trying to um just give it a try. Okay, that's basically trying to give it a try, because mostly what these people will look at is their requirements, and they will want to first of all take people that are, that meet these requirements, and then if there is any gap or anything, they will now want to substitute, or is substitute the right word, or just complement, right? So what I would say is, no doubt you can apply, but try and apply to schools that you meet their requirements, at least for that first advantage. Okay, just that first advantage. Okay.
And another thing you can do is you can actually email the school and give them your situation. So, if, for example, your GPA was affected due to medical reason, due to
Mm.
financial reason, I think it's all about making a case. So, if
Yeah,
they
making a
agree
case
for
for
making a
yourself.
case, then you can make an
Yeah.
application. That way, you don't waste your time. If that makes sense
Mm.
to you.
Yeah, yeah. And then if they don't agree, you just just leave the application.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So do you have any contribution? I think this should be the last.
Yes. No, I'll just advise that you choose your fights, wisely. During my time, I only applied to one school. I only applied to one course because I
Mm,
was so sure that I met all the requirements,
mm,
and I met all the requirements and all the selection criteria. I think I met all of them. So
mm,
I didn't do like Messi that applied to
mm,
many schools. I applied to
mm,
one, and that
mm.
particular one I was chosen. Thank you.
Wow. Hmm.
But some,
That's strong. That's
yeah.
strong. Very strong.
But I
That's
think
very
also
strong.
depends on like it's good
Mm.
to apply to one, but I wanted like to have options, and I had options.
Yeah,
And
sure.
I could see that even the UK universities were sending me emails to choose. You know what kind of where you feel like you're the hot cake, and they'll take care of you better. So I think that's another thing. I don't have the confidence of Sir Adewale. I'm just I had to shoot my shot in many places, hoping that I could at least get one or two, and I did, which is lovely. But also, just trying to answer this question that Afida put on the screen, the references will come in when
Later.
you are selected. You just have
Yeah.
to put the names of the referees for now. So
Yeah.
that's one another way to know that if you are in the running as a reserve or a selected candidate. If you are not selected, they'll not ask you to upload your reference. It's only when you are selected you'll be given that option. So that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to add. And
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know we talked about the references already. So just provide their names, their email addresses, and every other information that they would, ask for. And then you have your email. They would send the email directly to the referees. So make sure that your referees use emails that are working. Okay, and they use, if it's a professional or academic referee, please let them use their academic their email addresses relating to that institution, please, so that it adds more validity to that. Okay, and your letters should be on the institution letterheads. It actually adds more validity to all of that. So I want to bring this to a close. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mercy. Thank you so much, Adewale and Ayola in Essential. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for honoring my invitation and coming to share your experiences. And like you all have said, and I'm going to add, please, guys, don't feel intimidated. So one person applied to one, another applied to seven, another applied to four or three or two. Don't feel intimidated. Just apply. Okay, as much as you want this badly, just apply. Okay, just apply, because if you don't submit your application, then all this was a waste. Okay, because you may feel discouraged, like, oh, I'm not like Messi applied a lot, how will I do? Or I'm not like Sir Adewale. I said Sir Adewale had too much confidence, I don't have confidence. So please just apply. Just apply, start from where you are and just do it. You never know how it's going to turn out. You may just be a first applicant. You get, for me it was my first time, and I believe even Sadewale, it was his first time, right? Mercy, it was your second time, right?
Yeah, the first time was affected by COVID.
Okay, and then this the second time you got it, and I've,
Yeah.
I've met so many other persons too that actually did it the first time, and I have also had mentees under me that are currently in the UK that did it the first time. So you guys can do it, okay? And don't feel discouraged if you've not had it before. Okay, this channel is the Lady Elfrida, and the blog I run is SLH with Elfrida. You can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, on even on YouTube, and on TikTok. That's the one I wanted to mention. So I do a lot of videos, vlogs, and all of that around studying in the UK, life in the UK, and all of that. And then you can follow Mercy. Mercy is on LinkedIn as Mercy Martins. You can follow Sir Adewale as Adewale Adeniyi on LinkedIn. Okay, you can follow them, and this recording is going to be year on this YouTube channel. So you can always come back to listen to the different things that all our speakers have talked about. I am so grateful for the fact that so many persons have stayed up and they are really appreciating. If you can check the comments, you see that so many persons are appreciating you guys as the guests. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Without you, this webinar would not have been a success. And I'm happy I collaborated with you guys and we were able to put in our best to show that we can actually help people to achieve success in their own field. I mean, it's a selfless work, and we are doing it even if we've passed time. We're supposed to do this for 2 hours, and if you leave us, we can go on and on. But the truth is, we have so many activities, and I believe, we have so many things to do. Tomorrow is work and school for some of us. So thank you guys. Thank you. If you watch this replay, please give it a like, give it a subscribe, follow, and just keep a tag. And as we hold other webinars, and you can go down to my live sessions, you'll see other webinars I have had on Shivning, on Commonwealth Masters, so that you know the difference between the Commonwealth Masters and the shared. And just check. I've also done a video on the US, studying in the US. So if you don't study in the UK, you will check them out in my videos, okay? And I wish you all the best in your endeavors. And like Sadewale said, we pray that you succeed, okay? And just be focused, be positive, be consistent, and keep pushing, okay? Keep pushing, you guys.
yeah,
Thank you, guys. Till we meet again.
So,
Bye.
let me say this. Let me say this. We
Oh,
need
yes,
to,
please. Yes, please.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
please.
Sorry. We need to acknowledge your effort.
yeah.
Efrida,
Thank you
you've been
so
so
much, sir.
consistent. At
Thank you,
times
sir.
I watch your YouTube videos. I see a lot of the information, the impact you are making, and
Yeah.
I'll be like, can I even, how do I even have time to do all this? Honestly, if not that you are passionate
Mm,
about what you are doing, and you wouldn't have gone this far. So thank you
mm.
for everything.
Thank you so much.
Yes, as I'm talking to you, I have a lot of things pending, but because it's you, I had to
Mm.
suspend everything I've scheduled for
Thank you
today
so much,
just to
sir.
support you on this.
Mm.
So please kindly everyone follow Efrida. You will not regret it. And also
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mercy. Mercy has been let me say I appreciate Mercy so much because we've been in several sessions. When Mercy speaks about diversity, inclusion, about this. You will love it, honestly. So
Development
follow
and security.
Messi. I follow you on LinkedIn as well.
Decolonization, keyword.
Yeah.
Decolonization, exactly. So please follow Messi. Follow Messi. You will really. I have engineering background, like I said, but since I've been following Messi, that I've been getting tips about decolonization and even our history as people. So thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
just wanted to
Mercy.
add thank you so much, Afrida. Thank you so much, Adewale.
Thank
And to
you.
all those on the live or people that will watch this later, this is the value of social capital we talked about. This is how you can harness your resources. And because you were part of this live, I can assure you that you're already one leg into the Commonwealth shared. I'm not saying
Mhm.
you get in. I'm saying you have all the information to actually win the Commonwealth shared. And please
Thank
do
you.
share your good news with all of us. I'll be
Yes,
rooting for
please.
you all, and I'll be clapping for
Mm.
you all. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mercy,
guys.
thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Please, guys, share your feedback. You can send me your feedback on Instagram. Please chat me up, send me your feedback. Send me. I want to see. I love when I see people send me admission offers. Recently, one of my it was like a son to me when I was in the university. You know those mama stuff we used to do, but
Mm.
currently is in the UK. I remember when he sent me his offer, I was shouting. I was so glad because he submitted it very late. So you guys, I want to see your successes. Please share with me, share with us, share with all of us. And till we'll see again on maybe any other live or any of my videos. Okay. I don't just do YouTube videos. I do TikTok, Instagram, so let's see there too. All right, thank you so much, guys. And we're going to end this
Bye.
live stream. Bye. Thank you.